Reporters now in session.
I have a visitor for you.
Ah, another sky dweller. They're everywhere.
No, Victor, it's me, your son, Kevin.
No, my son was abducted. He's on his way to Alpha Centaurion.
No, Victor, I'm right in front of you. And my passport's in my safety deposit box, I promise. Look, I brought you some reading materials, and I brought your hearing aid.
My what?
Yes, your hearing aid. You know, doctor, it just wrenches my heart to see him this way.
Of course. I'll give you two some time alone.
Thank you.
I don't wear a hearing aid. What are you trying to do? Make these people think I look old? I want to tell you that there are one or two real babes on the premises.
Well, they already think you're insane. Who cares if they think you're deaf, too?
I have never, I do not now, and I have never resorted to an aid of any sort whatsoever. May I remind you that I can still read fine print without glasses in 4 languages?
Before you work yourself up into a tizzy, let me explain something to you. You and I are going to plant bugs in Greg's and Suzanne's rooms. Now, I brought you an ear device so that you can listen to them with it.
Well, why didn't you say so? That's very clever. It's going to put a bit of a clip in my style, but it's very clever.
Never mind that. Furthermore, I brought a recording device which I will plant in your room. That way you can make tapes of all the pertinent information.
That's brilliant. Monk, you're a chip off the not-so-old block.
A brave man to be doing this, Victor. I figure this is the least I can do to try and get you out of here as soon as possible. I know. It's all right.
What are you doing out here, Frank? Doesn't the prom queen need you?
She has her lawyer.
You know, you could stop Julie from doing this, but you won't, because you care more about clearing her name than me.
If that were true, I would have told Julie the truth about the doctor's claim that you've been visiting Greg Cooper. I haven't. I'm doing everything I can to protect both of you.
There is a whole town full of suspects. Why did Julie and her lawyer have to pick me?
Because you're the one that they can make the most plausible case against. Doesn't mean you'll be arrested, but get ready for the storm that's about to hit.
Now, how would I do that?
Well, the first thing we do is try to find out the truth about the voice activator. If we can do that, then Lee has to find someone else to point the finger at.
You want me to go back to my mother?
It's worth a shot. Maybe she'll be able to give us some straight answers.
No, the only thing she gave me last time was this bruise.
That won't happen again. I'll be with you the whole time.
Oh, yeah, so she'll yell and curse at me instead? No, thank you.
What are the other alternatives? Wait for Garcia or the reporters to show up at your funeral?
Actually, I would prefer that.
No. I will not let you give up. Your whole future is at stake here.
Let's go visit Mommy Dearest.
Come on in. Half a league onward. Into the valley of death, road for 600.
Victor, if you need to recite poetry, use one that has a happy ending. Watch the door. Keep an eye out for anyone coming down the hall. All right.
The boy stood on the burning
Not
deck.
that one. Okay. Where's a good place for you to hide, my little pretty?
Someplace where Lark's mother won't find him.
Are you watching the hall?
I am now. What do I do if I see someone coming?
Try telling me to hide.
Oh, that's so mundane. We should have a secret code of alarm.
Okay. How about archway, outway? Then you can dive behind the door and I'll jump into the closet.
Well, I'm sure that Scully and Mulder would be much more creative, but all right.
Oh, I think this is a perfect place to hide you.
Mayday! Mayday!
What?
Incoming! Blips on the
Hide!
Die!
Victor! What? What did you see?
I saw the elevator doors opening.
Victor, that could be anyone going anywhere.
Well, maybe coming in here.
Or some other room.
Well, why don't you work faster? Why can't
Oh, you're just a font of good ideas.
Oh, there really is someone coming this time.
Victor! What? What exactly did you see?
I saw a very strange girl walking out of a room. I guess she was visiting a relative.
All right, Victor, I want you to stay at that door. I want you to keep your eyes on the window, and I don't want you to tell me anything unless you're sure, and I mean absolutely sure, that we are in danger of being caught.
Within what statistical age probability?
0.
Well, speaking of that, did you happen to remember to take that little gizmo out for a test drive?
Yes, I did.
You know, I know all sorts of websites for discount electronic equipment. I really wish you'd let me shop that for you.
Well, in case you hadn't noticed, you've been a little preoccupied lately.
Where did you learn to be so sneaky?
Certainly not from my father. Would you get back to your post?
What are you doing in my room?
My father wandered in here. I just came in to retrieve him.
I know you. You're that doctor that was here with Frank Scanlon.
Yes, I am. I am that doctor. And it's so good to see you again and feeling better, I assume. Victor, we're leaving right now.
Shoo!
I'm very sorry. This won't happen again, I promise you.
See that it doesn't.
You are the world's worst lookout.
Well, you are the world's slowest installer. Do you think she's going to report us?
Let's pray she doesn't.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you see before you Dr. Julie Morris Devlin. On the surface, she seems like a daughter, a friend, a colleague any one of us would like to have. Let me direct your attention to this easel. Here we find 4 other healthy, vibrant faces. Dr. Cassandra May, head of pediatrics at General Hospital and mother of a 4-year-old daughter. Dr. Jake Marshak, a dedicated young physician. Grace Sullivan, a popular, respected nurse. And, oh yes, Dr. Bennett Devlin, a gifted surgeon. Here he is with his daughter, Julie. They look like the picture of familial bliss. I direct your attention to this other easel. These are crime photos taken at the scene by a police photographer. This is what Julie Devlin did to her father, her friends, and her colleagues. These 4 victims trusted Julie Devlin. This is how she honored that trust. With a stab through the heart, the twist of a stethoscope, the twist of a noose, and a dose of cyanide. How ironic that a woman in the business of saving lives should take them so viciously. The evidence in this case will establish beyond a shadow of a doubt that Dr. Devlin had not only the opportunity, but the motive to take and drain the life from these 4 individuals who made the mistake of believing in her. It was the defendant and her ink pen which signed the final "Love Julie" note that day she stuck it through her father's heart. It was the defendant who was identified as the heartless aggressor who strangled Nurse Sullivan while a pediatric circus took place only a few feet away. The defendant hung Jake Marshak from the rafters of a stage and then, adding insult to injury, framing him as the perpetrator of the first 2 murders. And it was the defendant who stood and watched in glee as her fellow doctors tried in vain to save Dr. May. The woman sitting before you is a sadistic killer who took tremendous pleasure in watching her handiwork and the devastating effects up close. There is an undeniable amount of evidence against this defendant which will be presented to you. Most damning of all is a phone call the killer made to Kevin Collins that was traced to a home where Julie Devlin was found with a voice activator. Now, the police know that the voice activator was used by the murderer to disguise her voice. Julie Devlin is guilty of these 4 crimes and is deserving of the ultimate punishment allowed by law in this state. The sentence of death.
Good morning, Mrs. Madison. How are you today?
I'm glad to see you. Lark, come here, give me a hug.
Oh, Mom. You seem better today.
I feel fine. Look at you. I'm so sorry, Lark.
I know you didn't mean to.
That doesn't make it any better. It never does. I don't know why you even bother with me. I'm better off for you in here.
I love you, Mom. All right? I want you to get better. That's all that matters. Don't worry about this. A little makeup will cover it up.
Mrs. Madison, we have something very important to discuss with you.
I'll try to help if I
I
can.
really, really need you to remember who asked you to buy the voice activator.
I'm starting to remember bits and pieces of the day I bought it.
That's terrific.
I even remember meeting the person who asked me to purchase it.
Who was it?
I'm not sure. In my head, the person is backlit by the sun. I see him or her in outline, but without a face. The person is definitely taller than you, Lark, and has much shorter hair.
But you do realize it wasn't me, right?
No way it was you. I'm positive of that.
Thank you so much, Mom. You have no idea what this means to me. Frank, do you think that's enough?
It should be. Would you be willing to testify in court?
If it'll help Lark, of course I would.
Okay, I'm going to call Garcia. I want him to come down here right now and take your statement.
So, did I do good?
Yes, Mom. You were perfect. Who knows? Maybe everything will work out all right after all. Is Garcia coming?
Yeah, he's on his way. Where's your mom?
Oh, she went to the day room to pick up a book she left. Thank you so much for bringing me here. This is going to change everything for me.
Oh, that was the idea.
You sound a little bit more happier about it.
No, I am. It's not so great news for Julie.
You wanted to clear me. Now you're sorry you did?
No, I'm glad that you won't be dragged into the trial, but when your mom recants her statement, Julie's defense could fall apart.
Well, I can't feel too sorry for her. I mean, Julie should have given it more thought before she blamed an innocent person. Yeah, I'll go wait for Garcia.
The evidence the defense has gathered will show you that my client was set up to take this fall by the real assailant. There are other suspects who have been under police scrutiny who had both motive and opportunity to commit these crimes. Of course, Mr. Pearson didn't tell you about them, nor did he tell you to disprove the state's most damaging piece of evidence, that voice activator. I have a receipt that proves that device was purchased by a third party. So, by presenting physical evidence as well as some star witnesses, we will show beyond any shadow of a doubt Julie Devlin is not guilty.
Help! Someone help me! I need you!
What? Oh, my God. Get a flash card in your stack. Lark, what's going on?
I found her on the floor. She's not moving. I think she's dead.
I'm a paramedic. What have you got?
Well, there's no pulse and she's not breathing.
What happened in here? What?
You lost her.
No. No. Mom, wake up, please. I need you. Wake up now. Mom, please.
She's gone.
No.
Kevin, what the? It's Suzanne Madison. She's dead.